movie came out in 1992 called A River Runs Through It. It was directed by Robert Redford, and it featured the acting of Brad Pitt, young Brad Pitt. I think he won the award, the Oscar for Best Looking Actor that year. At any rate, this story takes place out in western Montana, beautiful stretch of country, and filmed actually in the California Sierras, I believe. But nonetheless, the river scene where Brad Pitt, of course, our hero here for the film, hooks into a beautiful, massive trout, rainbow trout. And he's in this huge river, and he's wrestling with this fish, being careful to keep it on the line. And he's following it down the water, ducking into pools and coming up and in and out of the water. His rod, the fly rod is doubled over, and he's in for the battle of his life. And he works this thing all the way, and he disappears into the water as his brother watches. And his father and brother run down to the edge of the stream, where he finally ends up in calm water, where he got the trout to the banks of the river. And they took a picture of him standing there like this, with this trophy trout. And the picture snaps on the screen. And you see this image. And then the narrator, his brother, speaks, saying this: "At that moment, I knew surely and clearly I was witnessing perfection. My brother stood before us, not on the bank of the big Blackfoot River, but suspended above the earth, free from all its laws, like a work of art. And I knew just as surely and clearly that life is not a work of art, and the moment could not last." As we look at our lives, some of us have a little more to look at than others, of course, but as we look over the course of our lives, we can see our lives are filled with these moments of greatness. A wedding, the birth of your first child, ordination, a graduation, the celebrations, the sacraments, the things that bring us to a moment where we perceive greatness. We transcend the ordinary, in a sense, and we feel the greatness of a moment that we wish that we could hang on to and preserve and stay there. Like Peter said, "It is good, Lord, that we are here." And what a dazzling image, what a dazzling picture to perceive Jesus glorified. The radiant light, the beauty, the dazzling whiteness of his garments. And if we are to assume the same image that John saw in the Apocalypse, the white hair and the blazing eyes of love and glory coming forth from their Lord, and they are there. It is good, Lord, to be here with you. And then Moses and Elijah appear. The law and the prophets appear before them, and they look upon Jesus as the fulfillment and the superseding of the law and the prophets. And he comes with his divinity to show not only his divinity in his glorified state, but also what glorified humanity looks like. He gives them a taste, a moment of this glory. Because previously, Jesus when he questioned Peter at Caesarea Philippi, "Who do you say that I am?" He said, "You are the Christ, the Son of the living God." And Jesus said, "Of course, the Father has revealed this to you, Peter." And then he explained for the first time to his disciples of how he must go to Jerusalem. He must suffer and die at the hands of the elders. And Peter rebuked Jesus. "Oh no, you will not do that, Lord. You will not suffer and die." And that's something I think that he held all the way to the very end. Because in the garden, who is it that whacks off the servant Malchus' ear with a sword? But Peter. But this moment is to show the innermost disciples of Jesus that my cross should not be a scandal to you. It is not a time for despair. I must go. But this is the glory that will be in the end. And there's a conversation that's going on between the three, Moses and Elijah and Jesus. And if we look at Mark's gospel, we would say, well, what are they talking about? You know, what are they talking about? We have to go to Luke. Luke gives us the details. It says that they were discussing the Exodus, Jesus' Exodus, which he would accomplish in Jerusalem. There was another hill that Jesus would climb. He climbed Tabor to reveal his glory today, as we see in this transfiguration. But there was another hill that he had to climb, the hill of Golgotha. And as we walk through this Lenten season, when we contemplate the suffering, the scourging, the rejection, the crown of thorns, when we contemplate his passion, and we look at his death on Good Friday, it is finished. His work is finished. And then comes the glory. It is after that necessary suffering and death of Jesus. They couldn't handle it. And that's why he showed them, like we celebrate today. We come to Mass. Every Mass, in a sense, is a transfiguration, where we see the glory of Jesus. We experience being with him, up front, close, personal. And then we go. We depart. Kind of an exodus of our own, where we depart with him. He departs in us. And we go into the world, and we live, and we love, and we serve. And we walk with him until that day when we ourselves will come to the last day, when we will leave this world. And on the very last day, he will come to us and raise us up to be with him, not for a moment, but forever. That is a moment that will last forever. An eternal Easter of glory with our Lord, of which he gives us but a taste today. God bless you.